All right, let's talk about Chovy. Let's talk about his next moves. Elephant in the room, he is a free agent now, and there are a lot of teams that would love to subscribe to the Church of Chovy this offseason. And of course, the conversation is naturally going to lead to whether Chovy stays in Korea or goes elsewhere. And of course, being a North American-based program, we will obviously ask the question, will Chovy or could Chovy or will he even entertain the idea of joining a North American team? In all seriousness, Tyler, is there any possibility, getting this right out of the gate, that Chovy could entertain offers, or will it be a faker situation where they slide him a blank check and he just rips it up in their face?
Are we in a world with a vaccine or no vaccine? If there's a vaccine, if the COVID, I think this is very COVID related. I mean, it's difficult. If we were in a world with no COVID, I actually think North America would have a quite good chance of getting Chovy. Evil Geniuses, for all I know, was second place in the Chovy sweepstakes last year. They were the team that Chovy turned down to go back to DRX to play for CV Max. EG offered a deal over $3 million per year, a multi-million dollar deal for Chovy. And in the end, Chovy sat down with his mom, and he basically said, I believe I want one more chance. I want one more go with my head coach, my mentor, my sensei, CV Max. I want to ride one more ride, Arda, one more ride in South Korea. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to play for DRX. I'm going to try to make this world dreams come true. DRX did a video where they were shocked. They had no idea why he signed with them. They were like, we can't offer you the amount of money that EG is offering you or the LPL teams are offering you. But Chovy said he wants to play for CV Max for 1 year and to live out that dream. 365 days later, that dream has come to an end. On the good part, Chovy's stock has only risen over the year. He's shown that he's a more capable player, a more all-around superstar mid laner than just a soul-focusing Lane Kingdom kind of player. So on that part, his stock hasn't gone down. Will he start? I think the first question: does he stay with DRX? From my understanding, DRX is paying him around $1 million per year, which is that doesn't like so. Chovy isn't not eating. He's eating well. He's eating very well at DRX. He's making $1 million per year, but he's obviously going to be offered a lot more money from China and possibly North America, depending on COVID related issues. Last year, it was simple for an EG to offer that kind of money. When it was easier to get, visas for, getting a visa for a player of that caliber, it was much easier last year, and now it's much harder to secure visas in this kind of climate. Also, the money situation might not be as lucrative from these N18s with the current COVID situation, with, obviously the economy in North America not its best state, with so many things, like with the virus really not doing. It's wrecking North America quite well. It's like World's 2020. It's not going well for America right now in the COVID situation. So overall, throw out some teams, Arda. Throw out some teams. I'll give you if I think they can. If Chovy might go to there.
Well, I'm thinking more regions. I mean,
okay. Give me a region.
There are teams that we don't know how teams are going to shake down in terms of what mid laners will be available, etc. But if I were Chovy, I'd probably be looking at the LPL if I want to win, right?
I think LPL is probably most likely the most likely option here. I've talked to a few people who know Chovy, who are in his inner circle, so to speak, and they believe that China would be the most likely option. There's always the Hail Mary of an EG or a TSM or a Team Liquid. Not likely TSM, they have Bjergsen, but a Team Liquid, coming off a Jensen and Impact contract, going for the big fish of Chovy, or, EG obviously trying to run it back, trying to get the player that they almost got last year. Now that they have Huni and Bang, to kind of create a majority Korean roster that Chovy could slide into and not feel out of place. But I think the most likely option is to go to the LPL if he does leave the LCK. And, we saw a few days ago Tarzan, his former jungler teammate, announced that he is going to LPL next year, 2021. FOMOS reporter Kenzie also reported that he's more than likely going to LNG Esports. So there's a lot of teams in China that are going to want Chovy if he puts his hand up and says, I'm trying to look elsewhere. He's going to field a lot of offers. I would say that DRX still has a chance. There always is that, the tug on your heartstring story of, CV Max coming to him being like, come on, man, one more time, one more rodeo, one last dance, baby, one last dance. And, maybe Chovy is swayed and he does sign another, $1 million, $1.5 million deal instead of, signing, a multi-million dollar, $2, $3, $4, $5 million deal. I've heard upwards plus $5 million from sub clubs in interest of Chovy last year. Who knows with the COVID situation if those deals are still out there? But I still think he will get a big bag this offseason. I would put my money majority pro in LPL. I think LPL is more than likely. I think a few LCK teams like Hanwha, KT, DRX will offer him. Maybe he will want to stay home during the COVID situation. Wants to stay home, wants to stay near family, doesn't want to travel to China. Definitely probably doesn't want to travel to North America in these trying times. So I would say more than likely, I think he's going to end up in the LPL. Like if I had to bet, if I was a betting man, Arda, if I was a betting man, I think there's too much money, there's too much talent, and the opportunity of not only to make $3+ million a year and secure your future, not only for yourself, but your mom, your grandparents, your future children by signing a long-term big money deal in China. You don't only have that to you, but you can also guarantee yourself a good chance to win Worlds, right? Where you can set yourself on a very good team in China, maybe another Korean import beside you. Kanavi, one of his close friends from JD Gaming, is also a free agent this upcoming offseason. So I would not be shocked if Kanavi and Chovy do a Bosch LeBron and take their talents to some team in China and just make tons of money and aim for a world championship that way. But the CV Max option is always there. He really does care and love his mentor, CV Max. He respects him over anyone else. He turned down, arguably $5 million last year to play. He turned down he took a difference of $4 million to play for CV Max last year. So who knows what his mind really tells him this offseason, especially in the COVID world. But it's going to be very interesting. He is obviously, I think, the marquee free agent going into the 2020 offseason in our free agency, so alongside Kanavi, Alfari, and a few others.
Breaking news, Chovy joins Team Liquid. See you later, Jensen. Also free agent, goes back to Europe. Chovy takes the bag, $5 million a year, off to TL.
What about this, Arda?
Okay.
Naguri top lane, Chovy mid lane, Team Liquid. What about that? What about Steve just opens up?
Is out. Yeah, Impact's a free agent.
Yeah.
But then what happens with Broxa and Core JJ? They leave too?
Oh yeah. You have to. Oh yeah, you only have 2 imports. I guess. I mean, I think
Tactical. You're building the team around Tactical and Core.
Yeah.
So
I think only one. You're not going to get Naguri and Chovy, but who knows?
But you make a good point though. Like to me, okay, I'm putting COVID aside. Obviously, COVID is the best laid plans fall by the wayside in COVID, and there are a lot of players that we've spoken with, Tyler, that have said, look, I just want to be home. Like I don't want to be away from home and not be able to go and not travel safely. So that is definitely a factor. Putting that aside, if we do assume, hopefully, that everything safely we are closer to a normal world that we remember from yesterday, a vaccine, etc., then we can talk about Chovy opening up to the world and thinking of options here. It's going to take a significant bag because China has the money too. So it's going to take like ludicrous money, right? To outbid the LPL, where even Chinese teams are like,
to come to NA,
you know what I mean? Like
it's going to take $5+ million,
Yeah, and it's going to take an amount that people will laugh at almost. It's going to be a memed amount, like the Huni contract. It's going to be a memed amount of money.
Far bigger than Huni. And
right, but I mean like in the level of memeing, I guess, right? Like it's going to take 5+ or something ridiculous to lure someone of that ilk to come to the LCS and play here.
And to get a visa is also just another mountain you'll have to climb. So I think NA is at like a 5% chance, maybe a little lower. I think it's majority. I think LPL leads. I would say LPL is probably like 60, 65. If the LPL teams open their wallets, I think obviously Tarzan is going there. I think Kanavi is going to talk to Mr. Chovy and be like, hey, China's pretty sweet. Like, you get a lot of money. Like the fandom here is insane. Like I'm in like magazines and commercials. Like I'm in McDonald's commercials, man. Like it's real. It's big time out here.
Nike commercials.
Nike commercials.
Yeah, like crazy.
Yeah, like you could be one of the faces of one of the biggest sporting leagues in China tomorrow if you sign up a team. So I think the allure of China. I think he played so well, and I think he showed enough throughout the year that I think LPL teams. There's 17 of them, 17 franchises. One of them will open the bag for Chovy, and one of them is going to give him a $3+ million deal. And I can't see how he turns it down again. He might want to do the one last dance of Stevie Nicks again, but they made quarterfinals, man. It's not like they lost in the finals. It's not like they lost in the semifinals in a close 3-2 series.
Sure.
They got destroyed. They got destroyed by a much better Damwon team. And if that Damwon team runs it back next year, what's the chances that he's going to find a better team than LCK? So if I was Chovy, I'd be looking to LPL and maybe an LCK team if, a DRX or a KT or Hanwha give you a big-time offer, plus they promise you a superstar roster. But that's quite unlikely. So LPL, per usual, is probably going to be leading the race. we'll keep tabs on it, but it's going to be a very busy offseason.
Listen,
lots of things up in the air.
Listen, grabbing a bag and having a better chance to win sounds like a win-win situation. So, anyway, like you said, we will be monitoring Chovy's progress as we get into free agency, and we may or may not have some announcements to make regarding free agency later on in the month. So, follow us on Twitter.
A 48-hour show, Arda. A 48-hour show.
Is that what we're doing? A 2 days straight?
Two days straight.
No breaks.
Free agency.
Food, nothing.
It's just going to be Jacob Wolf on camera for 48 hours with 20 phones connected to him at all times. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good,
we're just standing there like filling content. Like, okay, so for the 10th time, Tyler, will Chovy come to the LCS? Like, we're just like continuously the same topic.
We're at 3%, Arda. We're at 3%. 2.7%.
You have a meter. You have a meter like different players. Tyler's optimism meter for different players and where they go. Okay.